Hello, my name is Michael C. Bush, and I'm the Global CEO from Great Place to Work. It's an honor to be with you today, to be with the leaders and some of the great people from the best workplaces in Singapore. Last year in 2020, during your virtual event, I said I am sure in 2021 I will be with you in person for the best workplaces in Singapore event. Well, here we are. The world's a strange place. But I will say with confidence, as an eternal optimist, that in 2022 I will see you in person at the best workplaces in Singapore event. So congratulations for being with us today. I also would like to thank a for all leader who has been with us throughout this journey, and that is Deputy Prime Minister Heng Swee Keat. He has been committed to showing what happens when you consistently lead on a daily basis towards the purpose of equality, respect, fairness, and honesty for all. He was with us in our event at the Raffles Hotel in 2019, again with us virtually in 2020, where he continued to communicate his vision on his hopes for workplaces and for society in general. Because if we treat people well at work and have a great experience and treat people with respect and honesty, they carry that into the community. It's not only good for the businesses, but it's great for Singapore, and that's great for the world. And he will be joining us as a part of the event here as a panelist, where he will continue to share his great vision. It's great to see leadership modeled, not leaders who are great for a moment or for a year, but are consistent in showing their dedication because they are so focused on people and the great society that is built around great people. So thank you again for your partnership, Deputy Prime Minister Keat. And for the rest of us, I'm looking forward to us spending some great time together. So I want to spend some time talking about something that we all care about. Our mission, the thing that we all have in common, is we want every place to be a great place to work for all. And we know what this means. It means that people have to have a great experience for the people that they work for, and they want to have a great experience with the people that they work alongside. And we believe that organizations and the definition has changed based on what we're all experiencing, meaning an organization now is wherever a person is sitting with a laptop or a smartphone. So every place has to be a great place to work for all. And the journey for greatness starts right here. We know by working together, by listening to our employees, we create an experience that is great for people, great for business, and that makes things better for the world. As you know, we get all of our data and all of our analytics by surveying employees. It's easy to think you know what people want and what people need, but it's much better when you can use social science, proven social science, to find out how to listen best to what people need so you can provide that to them. Well, the work that we do is we survey over 10,000 companies every year. We survey over 10 million employees every year in over 100 countries every year. This enables us to know what's going on for working people in every single industry on earth. And what we know is this pursuit of greatness leads to outstanding financial performance for businesses. So there's nothing wrong with being a business that focuses on making money because you know that you can make progress too in terms of creating a better society. For us, this idea of great means that we have a way of making sure that trust and respect and fairness and credibility is experienced by every working person, regardless of how high you are in the company, if you're in the middle of the company, if you're a frontline supervisor, or if you just started yesterday on the front lines in the company. You should experience an environment that has trust, respect, fairness, and credibility. We also know that great means diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. Everybody should feel that they're important and they're needed when they go to work. You shouldn't have some people feeling that they're needed and other people feeling like they just have a job. This is our continuous pursuit of making sure that we're pursuing and creating a great place to work for all. Great also means that you're purpose-driven. That yes, the money matters. Yes, profit matters. Yes, cash flow matters. But we come to work every day, hopefully inspired with other people who are actually trying to make society better. and trying to make things better for other people in society so that a rising tide lifts all boats and that no one is left out. And we spend so much time doing work. What a great place to practice these values and make sure that people have an uplifting experience when they're at work, so when they go home, they carry that same uplifting, respectful experience through to their home environment, because people who do that volunteer and give back and support their communities where they live. We also know that great means that people have empathy, which means they're willing to look at things from another point of view. When they're talking to people, they're asking a series of questions because they're humble and they're curious and they want to learn about them, which we can say is putting ourselves in another person's shoes. This is what enables us to see a situation differently and perhaps realize that some of our ideas on what an employee might need might not be correct. And being humble and curious enough helps us find out, based on another perspective, what someone needs. Again, the best way to find out what people who are working and have young children at home during these strange times need is to ask them and to try and think about what it would be like to be them and to be doing work while doing daycare and doing homework assignments all at the same time. And great means for all. It doesn't mean that it's great for some, but it's great for all. At Great Place to Work, we've measured productivity for about 20 years. And something fascinating happened. When you look at 2019, the period of March to August, what you see is productivity moving at its normal level for great companies, which is kind of in the upper 70s. Something strange happened in 2020. When you look at the time period between March and August, and you looked at great companies, productivity went up 6 to 8 points. It went into the upper 80s. In our 22 years of measuring productivity, we've never seen this before, which meant great companies actually got greater, which was amazing. We'd all like to believe that that would be true. Well, we have the data now to show that it was true. Now, something also happened as we moved into kind of the August, September, October timeframe, which is some companies started moving into decline. So people called that Zoom fatigue or WebEx fatigue or whatever you want to label it. They actually started to falter. Now, what our data showed us is that what happened is people started having an uneven experience as they faced the uncertainty related to going back to the office. And they didn't know if they were physically safe when they went back to the office. That led them to start to feel that they weren't really psychologically safe. And it made them question whether the people who were asking them to go back to the office were actually able to understand what it was like for them. And so fear crept into the workplace. And how do we know? Because we ask questions about employees' psychological, emotional safety and their physical safety as well. And when you look at the data, fear began to creep into some companies. Now, as we all know, nothing good happens when fear creeps into a company. Fear stops inclusion. Fear starts to separate people into groups where people come together based on having similar fears. We call them silos. Fear stops something that an organization needs really badly, which is inclusion and innovation. But this did occur. Now, remarkably, at some companies like yours, the decline didn't happen. Companies have remained at a high level of productivity and performance, even moving throughout 2021. And what we know is the reason that occurs for some companies and not others is leadership. Where you have good leaders who are able to not lead based on fear, but are able to talk about things that they don't fully understand and ask questions. They are humble. As leaders, they are always trying to get better, and they are thinking about things that they need to improve upon. And every leader has areas to improve upon, but some are humble enough to know that and then to try and make things better. And they listen, not only through in conversations when a person is talking, but they also use tools like surveying to try and get some analytics to know when you learn something that employees need and you try and do things differently, did it actually make a difference? This is leading based on analytics, which is what workplaces like yours actually do. And they become filled with a high performance, high productivity experience. And this comes from good leaders who are supporting their people more as servant leaders, knowing that if they make things better for their employees are going to take care of their customers. Now, there is another level of leader above that leader, which we call the for-all leader. And this leader has two things that they do exceptionally well. Number one, they operate at the highest level of trust. When you survey people who work for these leaders, it doesn't matter whether an employee's been there 6 days, 6 months, or 16 years. They all describe their experience with the leader the same way. They say that the leader cares about them as a person. They say that the leader asks some questions and gives them feedback about their development. They say that the leader might be running an IT department, but when they met you and learned you just joined the finance and accounting department, they still cared about you. And they talked to you about the organization in total. That these are leaders, these for-all leaders who are purpose-driven. They think about the entire organization, not just their department or their city or their country. They think about the entire company and therefore want to make sure everybody in the company is having a great experience because they feel like that's their responsibility. These are leaders that we call for-all leaders who over 90% of the people who work for them say that they would do anything for this leader because of the experience that the leader creates. This is what we all want to be. Because when you're this kind of a for-all leader, what you find out when you talk to these leaders is they say, my purpose is my people. That's my purpose. Because if I take care of my people and I care for my people, if I develop my people, I recognize my people, I reward my people, and I listen to them when they speak with an open mind so that problems I'm trying to solve, I actually think they might be able to help. I respect them by listening in such a deep way. And when I speak to them, I'm always trying to make sure that I connect for them their work, regardless of what they do, and the purpose of the organization, and that the organization cannot succeed without them. This is the kind of feeling that for-all leaders create. And this is the kind of feeling that our survey data shows when a leader leads that way, people say, I want to work here a long time because this is a great place to work. Now, when an employee says, I want to work here a long time, when they're willing to commit their future to the organization, they don't have the same kinds of problems that other companies have during this thing called the Great Resignation or the Great Reshuffle. Because the one silver lining of COVID is some organizations have realized they haven't focused on their employees to the degree that they needed to. Now, those like you, like your companies, you've always known this and you're feeling the rewards as a result of it. And we thank you and we congratulate you and we honor you for doing that. And what we hope is that more companies will find out what you have done. You can still be a little bit ahead and will pursue the same thing. Because we know that if all working people are in companies that are on our path to become great, this is going to be great for Singapore. This is going to be great for the world. And the world needs us working together and treating each other in a caring way more now than ever. So this is the great opportunity for us, or the great transformation. One of the silver linings or positive things we can take from this tough COVID experience is how we relate to each other. I believe that businesses right now that are quite satisfied with 5% growth in revenue, 7% growth in revenue, are going to find they can achieve much more by paying more attention to their employees and making sure that they have what they need. So, finally, congratulations on what you've done. You've been doing what I am describing every day during the toughest of times. We still have some tough days ahead, but things are going to get better. I think we all know that, and we all feel this way. And the way to make sure they feel better is by listening to each other, supporting each other, guiding each other, giving feedback even when it's not easy to do. Because when you give feedback in a caring way, and you let a person know that if they do something a little bit different, it's going to help the organization achieve its purpose, it's a gift. And people will hear it as a gift. It's an ultimate show of respect. giving somebody feedback in a caring way. So, enjoy the celebration. You have earned it. Continue to take care of your people. Thanks for being part of our movement, and I can't wait to see you next year. Take care to all of you from Oakland, California.